Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live discussion that we do it's not every Tuesday. We're doing a special pop-up episode, actually, taking your questions live by U.S. immigration law this Wednesday, 3:50 p.m. We're going to live just on YouTube and TikTok today. I'm doing a special experiment using different kinds of software right now to take your questions by U.S. immigration law. So this is all going to be a little clunkier than usual, but let's see how it works. Again, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Jump in. We'll take your questions about U.S. immigration law live here on U.S. Immigration Talk on YouTube and on Immigration Lawyer John on TikTok. And the immigration world is wild and miss. Even today, we had some strange news that came up. But before I start, I want to remind everybody that if you're interested in a marriage green card case, you could download our guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. This guide is really helpful for those interested in a fiancé visa or marriage green card. It goes through the basics of what you need to know to start before really getting involved into the process. Before you even talk with an immigration attorney, they'll know that you'll know what to ask them, and you could kind of tell if they're good or not, and that kind of thing. And that's what we're here to do. So download the guide. We also have a Ultimate Citizenship Naturalization Guide. Go to jqqlaw.com/citizenship to download that one, jqqlaw.com/citizenship. And let's start taking your questions. All the information right here is not intended as individual legal guidance. Please consult with an immigration attorney about your case, and we can take it from there. Doda says, someone needs to get your phone number to reach out you for his case. I appreciate that. God bless you for the kind words. It's very true. Best way to reach us is on our website, actually, jqqlaw.com/contact, because that way we could have your email, writing, phone number, as well as like a breakdown of your cases. It goes in our systems much better for us to be able to follow up with you, know exactly what kind of services you need, and we react much faster in those kind of cases. So what's the big news today was that the administration said that automatic employment authorization extensions are going away. So the way this works is if you had a work permit known as an EAD, employment authorization document, when it's near closing, near expiring, you have to renew it. Now, in some types of these EADs, once you file a renewal, while your existing work permit is still valid before it expires, if you file a renewal, you'll get an automatic like 240-day extension. But they're getting rid of that for most cases, so that you have to renew the card well ahead of time. And if you forget to renew it in time, or the government takes too long when renewing, that happens a lot of time, then you got to stop working and you're out of luck. And this is just these brute ways of really hurting people. And you see the tone of the language you use and the reason why I'm doing it in the tweets and stuff like that is really unnecessary. But that's what we're dealing with the next 4 years or 3.5 years now. And so we just got to go with the flow and deal with it back. Mbaki, thanks for coming on. Thank you, Mbaki, for the badge of gift as well. I appreciate it. Please like anywhere you're watching this and share the feed so other people get as well. Mbaki says, I have a temporary I-551 pending I-751. Can I travel? I just did a post on this on TikTok an hour ago, but most people can travel when they have an I-751 pending. This is when you have a 2-year green card, you file for extension, to begin a 10-year green card. They're redoing your background. These cases could take 3 or 4 years. Sometimes it takes so long. And so the government ahead of time will give you an extension notice when you file your case. The receipt will be an extension for 4 years. And if you have an expired green card with that notice, you can travel. Now, where the issues come up, some countries you go to when you're trying to come back into the U.S., the airline may not understand what that is, and that'll cause them to not let you board, and they got to call America and they try to, so it's hassle. The other thing is some people have like criminal history or something that could come up at the border when they come back in that interaction. Some people might have, if you're saying anti-Middle East kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff, anti-American kind of stuff, they could hassle you. So most people can't travel. Whether you could travel or not, I need to know a lot more about your background, go through your immigration history. And even then, there's like a chance that there might be some things that we're not aware of that are problematic that could become an issue. So we really got to dive in deep, and you got to look into your history, what it is. But most people are able to travel, and that's the whole point of this process, is to be able to do that. It's intended to be that way. Dauda follows up, could you give us the right email address that I can send to him? Best to go to our website. That's where we collect all our data. It's jqqlaw.com, jqqlaw.com. And then either /contact or click on the contact link at the top and fill in that information there, and we'll get back to you. But thank you for asking. Godfrey, thank you for joining. Plow, thank you for joining as well. Kezada asks, I think you've been on the show before too. How long does it take to mail the documents to USCIS after turning everything in? Our lawyer has taken months. Well, that's not good. If you actually have given everything there, it depends on the lawyer. Our I don't know what they do. Every law firm does it differently, but our goal is within like 10 days, if not within 2 days, get everything in. But a lot of times clients like think they gave everything in, and we keep emailing them saying we're missing this, this, and this, and they ignore our emails and they keep saying, "Why haven't you sent it in?" And I'm like, we sent 5 emails. I'm saying like we don't have your birth certificate, we don't have a translation of marriage certificate, we don't have the divorce certificate, we don't know your address history. So if you've given it all in, it really should take a few days and get it done in practice. If that's taking so long, I'm really sorry that happened. I'm not sure the best way to deal with that is, unfortunately, Izada, but thank you for the gifts as well. It sucks when that happens. Jonathan says, does marriage withdrawal affect my asylum interview? It depends on what the basis for the asylum is, why the marriage withdrawal happened, if there was accusations of marriage fraud going on, if it was like a case. So when you just say marriage withdrawal, that's like if there's a 10-piece puzzle, that's only one piece. I can't see the picture of it based on that limited amount of information. And Jonathan, thanks for the badge as well. Please like wherever you're watching this, click the like button to see how many thousand likes we can get in this show, and share the feed. Share the feed so other people can see it as well. All right. So Saki says, can I apply for my blank can my okay, I'll just read it as is. My can apply for my she have green card. I have Norwegian citizenship. Norwegians should be able to speak English better. Sorry, but if she has a green card, you're saying your spouse potentially they could start the green card process for you. It'll take a couple of years, but it's doable. Faith says, download a guide. I have a guide on this. marriageimmigrationlaw.com's website. Website again is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I have a 70-page guide that goes over everything. Faith quotes said, does the new employment card change affect people who already have an extension? I haven't read into it. Probably not. If you already have the extension pending, they usually can't just drop you right that. But I haven't read it, so I haven't read the notice in that much detail yet. But unlikely. Just be prepared for it for the next extension. Faith, thank you for the gifts. Now it says if the notice says this doesn't future filings, it depends on facts. I can't. You're giving me a second piece of the puzzle, but there's 8 more pieces, and so I can't drive with one eye like this. I might kill everybody. So I got to make sure I have both my eyes open. The windows are clear. I can see what's going on before I can give a decision. Drive this car. Leba says, do I have a question of a green card? I don't know. ZM says, I-730 follow to joint FTJ visit. Can he handle? Maybe. I think we follow to join. Yeah, it's a case we do. Please schedule a consultation. JQKlaw.com/contact. Liable again. Thank you for the gift. ZM, thank you for the gift. Let's see. ZM, already answered your question. You don't have to keep asking a million times, but then he said, can you handle case stuck at NBC 1 year? I don't know what the reason is that it's stuck at NBC 1 year. If you're documentarily qualified and you're just waiting for the embassy to schedule an appointment, it might just be you got to wait longer. There's nothing we can do about it. But if there's issues where they keep coming back and say you're missing something, what we could talk about is see what that one thing is. But if you're just waiting for an embassy appointment and it's taking a long time, there's not much we could do for embassy appointments. Jonathan says asylum is based off race and political opinion, not connected with our marriage. So I got to see what the marriage was. I won't be able to give you the guidance you need here because based on the question you're giving, I got to talk with you and see what happened in your life. Probably it's all good, but I can't give you that kind of individual legal guidance here. It's not intended to really advise you on how to handle a case like that. Okay. Dodger says, sir, green card processing for asylum estimated time? Long time. Sometimes they take 2 or 3 years easily. Leba says, so if I sponsor 2 years, I'm not sure what a sponsor 2 years is. Green card for my husband. Oh, you mean like a conditional green card. And when a 2-year green card expires, and I don't want to sponsor his next 10 years, want to do this. So it depends on Leba what you mean by the word sponsor. So you can sponsor a green card as in you file an I-130 petition for them, but there's a separate sponsorship called the Affidavit of Support Sponsorship. Once you submit that and your husband gets a green card, you're stuck with that sponsorship until he gets deported, he becomes a citizen, like he works for 10 years in the US, he dies or something like that. You're stuck on the hook for that. Now, if you mean sponsorship, that like you got the green card, a 2-year green card, and you have to do removal of conditions. If you don't want to join that application sponsor, you don't have to. He'll have to defend himself and try to keep his green card, which is possible. We do those cases all the time. But that's it. So these terms sponsorship have different kind of meanings from an immigration lawyer's perspective. So we got to see what you mean exactly. But inevitably, like you're stuck on the hook financially. Liba, thank you. Joe says, is a K1 easier or is a spousal visa better? So you're easier, better, faster. These terms are subjective. And it really depends on what your goals are and how important certain other things are to you. So generally, 9 out of 10 times, if not 99 out of 100 times, I don't recommend people get a K-1 visa. It costs a lot more money. It's more interactions with the government, more higher denial rate, all these kind of things. So I don't like K-1 unless it's very rare circumstances where you just have to get a K-1 or people just personally want it. But the reality is that it's more expensive to do a K-1. And secondly, the K-1 visa just gets your spouse here potentially at half the time, not if I mean most of the time, the same time as a marriage case, but it might get them here to the United States 2 or 3 months faster to enter. But once you enter, you still don't have a green card or work authorization. And so you got to apply for that. So practically speaking, marriage is better, but it depends on your goals, life, and your case and all that stuff. So download our guide, first of all, our marriage green card guide, the ultimate marriage green card guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And then schedule a consultation. Though says, can USCIS expedite the I-130 petition if the 7-year child's legal guardian has passed away overseas? So that was an interesting question. They're very difficult about it. I've had 2 cases where we need to expedite minor child cases. One of them I was able to do it, and the second one, they finally approved the expedite, but it seems like it wouldn't have approved. It took so long that it was like it got approved without an expedite. And the next problem is, okay, if USCIS does it, the embassies are terrible. We have this issue right now, the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan. Our child has a sick child in Pakistan, very sick, needs help, he's alone, all this kind of stuff. And no matter how many times we're complaining directly to them, National Visa sent it to them, congressperson, and senator, yeah, Pakistan's like, we don't care, we're just waiting. Don't rush it. It's a 4-year-old child. No reason. They could just approve this like that. So when I see how bad they are, just horrible they are, hopefully our listeners, we see like they're really harming people's lives in a horrible way. It just really is disgusting. When I see that, it disheartens me of any chance of success, but you got to do it as your child. If it's a child, you got to make these requests to USCIS, to the congressperson. We used to have the ombudsman's office. They're kind of taking down mostly right now, but you got to do the fight, and we keep doing the fight. And it depends. Hopefully, someone who's reasonable and passionate and caring will pick up the phone. But I can't say it's going to happen, but you got to do what you got to do to get it done. Smeet says, my F4 file category recently got open. Congrats. And I'm the only child, and my age is more than 21 years old. Am I still eligible for the green card? Well, you need to do a Child Status Protection Act CSPA analysis. You're watching on YouTube. Check out our video on that. It's a calculation. You got to get the I-130 approval notice, see how long it took for the I-130 case to be approved. Subtract that from your age. And if you're under 21, then you're good, but you still need to lock in the case by paying the fee. And if you're able to do that when you're current, then it's good. It's a calculation. So my video, I go over in detail on YouTube. Type in JQK Law CSPA analysis, CSPA analysis. If you want to have a private consultation, schedule a time, jqklaw.com/contact, and we'll get into more detail there. Thank you everyone for leaving likes on TikTok. Over 1,000 likes right now. Please share the feed too, so other people become aware of what we're doing over here as well. All right, next question. Okay. Sahi says, my wife, she's an American green card kid. She lives in the U.S. We just married. Congrats. Can she apply for me? Yeah, she get this part started. Download my guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. You're welcome, Smee. Wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you qualify. Jonathan says, okay, thanks, but I thought Asylum was based off merit, not about our work violations or status. Inevitably, things could go, if your wife is accusing you of marriage fraud, then asylum office finds out, it'll take away from their ability to trust you that your asylum case is true to you. You say, oh, you're lying there, you're a liar here. So everything is a big box. It can all affect other things. It may or may not. I'm not saying 100% will, but we got to analyze what's going on, what accusations are made, the whole big picture before we guide somebody. So it's like when you go to a doctor and you're sick, the doctor still like checks your heart, looks in your eyes, your ears. You say, my foot hurts. Why are you checking my heartbeat? Well, it's like it all matters. It all goes together. It's a whole system that we got to analyze. Jimena says, would you be interested in having an intern? I'm a certified paralegal working to intake at a firm. Not really an intern, but send your resume. Who knows? info@jklaw.com. We'll keep it on record, but probably not. But why not? Okay, honest question. info@jqklaw.com. Lunacy says, are you able to help people that have been detained? We don't handle detained cases. It's going to be very hard for you to find an attorney. Most people don't want to do it anymore, but that's that. Jimena says, Jimena, thank you for the gift. Cool. Joe Stigag says, cool, thanks. You're welcome. Lorraine says, hello, are there any updates for I-730 cases for Afghans? I don't have any updates. It may be, but I don't specialize in that kind of case. Not something I do on a day-to-day basis, so I'll defer to other people. Yana says, okay, thanks, but I thought it sounds better. Or answered your question. Faye says, can USCIS send another employment extension letter if the first one got lost? Maybe. They're really hard about getting these extension letters to us. So I got to see what kind of extension letter you mean. and what could be requested. It's hard getting them to do anything. It's not impossible, but I got to see exactly what happened. But thank you for the gift. We're at 2,000 likes on TikTok. Thanks so much. Everyone's watching on YouTube. Please press like too. It helps us get the message out. We're doing this Q&As like this, so I appreciate it. Laiba says, my husband got his 2-year green card through our marriage, and one of my family members was co-sponsor. Okay, the co-sponsors are the hook too. Grunts, sorry. What happens if a 2-year card expires? I mean, if he's not able to get a green card or extended, then they're going to put in deportation to kick him out. But if he's able to extend it, he just keeps a green card, eventually may get citizenship. Grunt says, how long does it take to move forward in a K1 case after the petitioner does his biometrics? So the biometrics has no bearing on the timelines. And a K1 fiancé, the petitioner doing a biometrics is not a normal thing. It's a Trump thing. So it's not typical historically that would be the case, that the biometrics needs to be done by a petitioner. But I should add that to my guide, actually, petitioner biometrics. But it has no bearings on the timeline at all. So that's nothing to. They have something they should do because they asked them to do it. But it's not like doesn't bear any effect on the case when it comes to timelines. Koskani says, if a man who has a green card only has a case in U.S., can it affect his family visa and process? I think you mean you have like a marriage green card case, has a green card only has a case in U.S. A man who has a green card only has a case in U.S. can affect his family visa. I'm not sure what you mean. You got to rephrase your question so I can properly answer that. Nafsing says, I filed I-751 together a year ago, but now separated. So Nafsing, I have a lot of videos on this on YouTube about I-751 and divorce, what you need to do. It's a very complicated process, and your separation, not living together is a problem, and not having a divorce in time is a problem. Go check out my videos on YouTube first, and then schedule a private consultation. By going into detail, I have 2 or 3 videos where I detail this because our firm handles these kind of cases a lot. Jorge says, hello, is any updates to I-730? I answer your question, no, I don't know. D. Wright says, if I'm a U.S. citizen, can I petition for my mother and add my younger sister to the petition? Unfortunately, you can't. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can file for your mom, and it's a relatively fast case. But if you add your sister, her case is different, and it's going to take many, many years, like 15 years or something. So what typically you have to do is file for your mom. Mom gets a green card. She turns around and files for your sister. And hopefully that won't take too many 5 or 10 years, but but it's not a good system. Punisher says, why would the petitioner need to do biometrics? Punisher, that's a new thing the Trump administration has started. Where we're hearing, I've had any of my case have this happen to, but we're seeing more and more people on the show coming in and saying, hey, I got a biometrics appointment on the petitioner. So it's weird that they're doing that. Zishan, good to see you. Can you please confirm if I can file an I-864 at NBC stage? I don't have any joint sponsor. Here is debt laid off 2 months ago after 12 years of 5-figure job, have 600K. So can you please confirm you need can the I-65 file NBC stage? Can I file I-6? So what kind of case is it? A family case? And second, I can't confirm. That would be giving individual legal guidance here. You can use assets as a equivalent for affidavit support, so that is possible. So if you have 600K, say on 401K, but the problem is when you're dealing with the embassy, they're much more strict about using assets and difficult. So I'm not optimistic that'll work. I've had cases where they have more than enough money. The embassy's like, unless you're making an income, I don't want to deal with it. And what are you going to do? So I'd recommend trying to get a joint sponsor in that case, but you can give it a shot first, see if they'll accept it and take it from there. That's the best general education advice I give right here. Okay, Grant, a letter do go. Thank you. You're welcome. Jimena, thank you. Grant says petition had to buy a message for K1. How long does it take to move forward? Just 12 to 16 months from filing. I don't have a timeline based on biometrics, so that's no bearing on the case. It's when you file the case, 12 to 60 months the average for a K1 I-129F. Quadruple A, good to see you. It says, hi, John. If an F1 student gets an EAD under category C8, but doesn't use it for work, does that just having that affect their F1 status? How about using it? Thanks a lot. My opinion is that a C8 EAD, which is like an asylum EAD, if used, will invalidate the F1. So I don't recommend any of my clients do that. And I think if they use it, it will. There's not clear guidance on this, but I wouldn't want to mess around. I'd want to keep my underlying F1 status valid without using the C8 EAD. If they needed to work that financial issues, I would have them try to get F1 work authorization due to special circumstances, something like that, or OPT or CPT or something like that. But if they have to, they have to. So it depends on the situation. But I can't say this is 100% law because the law is not clear on this. But I would say by using it, I would advise my clients that they're violating the F1. You're welcome, Grant Fabio. Okay. Labia says, and what if I and the co-sponsors don't want to sign the next petition or continue the process. You don't have to. They would file a waiver petition for the I-751 and defend it. Dwight says, if I'm a citizen, can I petition where I answer your question, Dwight? Mr. or Mrs. Maliva says, waiver I-618 was approved. Congrats. It's safe to go home country for the interview. I think that's your question. Is it safe? I don't know your home country, how safe it is. If you mean by that perspective, is it safe that they're going to approve your case? I don't know anything what you said in the 618. I don't know about your background. If you have any fraud or misrep or criminal issues, the embassy could make a mistake. They do errors. Like, for example, like if they say your affidavit of support is not enough and refuse your case and say go get a joint sponsor, that'll invalidate your 618 potentially. That's how sick these people are. And you have to do a new 6-1 and wait 4 years again. So you got to knock this out of the park. Is it safe? It's a risk you're going to have to take on, unfortunately. B, how long does it take to get approval after interview? There's no fixed timelines. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks, sometimes a couple months, maybe sometimes years. So Zishan's a family case. So if you like, just give it a try using your assets, Zishan. And then from there, if it doesn't work, then try to find a joint sponsor. But see what you can do. The thing is, like, National Visa Center might even accept the assets, but the embassy might not be down with it. Fabio says, hey, please answer me. I don't see your question out, Fabio. I saw you say year. Limitless Mate says, is EB2 NIW still worth applying for these days? I have a couple of very qualified friends that got denied. It really depends on your background and what you've done and what evidence you have. So it's not something comparable to say, oh, it's these kind of things to say, oh, like people on the show, they'll be like, who wants to go to America? America's over. It's like, no, America's still the richest country, for better or for worse. And we had a lot of bad stuff in America. And they say, oh, it's so unsafe in America, but still it's not unsafe. You know, everyone's living here. So these kind of generalized kind of things, it's not realistic. It's like, what do you need in your circumstances? What's your background? That's what we got to look at and make a decision on. Lab says, what happens next? Does he get to keep his green card? Potentially, if they approve his I-751, he could keep it. Yeah. Koskani says, a green card resident has a court case in the U.S. will affect his wife and child petition on hold. It depends on what the court case is. For example, if it's for sexual abuse of a minor, yeah, that's Adam Walsh issue. If it's like financial issues, like the IRS coming after you, that could be an issue too until you pay your debts. The affidavit support may not work. They might not approve the I-130. It really depends on what it is. If you're a green card resident, your court case is for a felony, you might lose your green card, so you can't get. So these there's just so many things. You gotta have immigration talk with you about it in private and see what's going on. Just saying a court case, it has no meaning because it's so general. I can't give advice on that. And thank you very much for liking. We almost got 4,000 likes. I appreciate it. Let's see if we get to 4,000 in a bit. We'll be here for another 10 more minutes. Vicky says, is this safe now to go for an ICE check for someone who has less than 2 years in the United States? Is safe? Probably not. What choice do you have? But sorry. Hussein says, my I-130 was approved October 23rd, but my I-485 is still pending. What should I expect an update? There's no expectations. It's whatever the government does. Idowu says, hello, can I file a mandamus lawsuit for my marriage case of over 2 years? No updates since September 2023. Idowu, is it a marriage to a green card holder or U.S. citizen? You can always file a lawsuit, but whether it's going to prove or not, probably not. But is it a marriage to a green card holder or a U.S. citizen? If it's a green card holder, it's going to take a while. And thank you everyone for watching on YouTube too. Please like this feed so YouTube will promote the algorithm and get more people seeing us. Appreciate it. But now TikTok, we got 4,100 likes. I appreciate that. Please shoot it. So 2 years is not the most if it's only 2 years, you're probably going to fail the lawsuit. The government said that's not too long. But if you want to pay the money and do it, then give it a shot. And Smile, thank you for the gift badge. We're at 4,300 likes. Please like and subscribe too. Subscribe so you get notifications when we do these pop-up sessions like this. And thank you for YouTube. We got another like on YouTube. I appreciate that. The more likes on YouTube, that's a hardcore one. It's really good. We see we have 4 people watching. Please click on that like. It's going to help boost this channel so we can answer more questions for more people. Adam sent me a heart. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate that. Adam Z. Oh, thank you, brother. Good to see you again. Catching you on TikTok is always good to keep in touch. DSR, thank you for the gift as well. Barty joined. Thank you. Punisher, like the live. I appreciate it. We went to 4,700 likes. That's pretty awesome. Feel free to shoot out your questions as well. We got a couple more minutes to take some questions. So again, the employment authorization extension situation has ended as of today. And there's just so much weird things that are happening, even hard to explain to someone with the administration. Just got to be mindful of your cases, pay a lot of attention, and move forward with it. A lot of these cases are approvable. And like we just had a case. And thank you, Adam Z, for the rose. I appreciate it. And just about working in detail. Sometimes our clients get frustrated because we ask so many questions that aren't even on the forms. And they're like, why are you asking me this? Other lawyers are asking me this. My friend lawyer asked me, like, yeah, I've just been in this game long enough where I know what kind of stuff the government's going to make up. So we got to have answers ready to go for everything. I'd rather overdo the work than underdo it. I don't want to leave people out to dry. I'm like your protection. I'm your bodyguard. I don't want to go and grab a hot dog and forget and have you get attacked. So I want to be there and just covering constantly like this and that. So it's really important to get into this. I had a guy who brought a denial to my office. He emailed me a denial notice and just going over it. It's all these problems. I'm like, the attorney should have prepped them for these questions so they're better prepared. Why was his birth certificate have this error? This should have been caught from the very beginning. And it's like, now the guy's going to have marriage fraud accusation. It's going to fall in for us like any deport probably. So it's just disappointing when you see that happen when they could have, practiced with the client and made sure they knew the answers in a sense like, what's your wife's date of birth? A lot of husbands don't know that. And so just practice it so you know for the interview. It's not cheating or anything. It's just guys usually don't remember that. They forget their date of marriage. And some people have different recollection of stuff. Then ask you like, what color is the carpet in your room? You may or may not remember. I had one case where they tried to catch my client. They separated them. And one of them, they asked, what color is your floor in your bedroom? And it was carpet. He said, what color is carpet in your room? And she's like, his carpet is brown. And he came, he says tile. And the cop's like, what? Like, you're saying different kind of answers. And I'm like, let's specify, what room are you talking about? And he's like, well, in the first floor, when you enter the kitchen, the living room, it's all tile. In the bathroom, then we go to second room, we have a loft, it's carpet up there, and that's brown. And I'm like, that's my job there is to like do that because the officer wasn't going to ask extra questions. So I'm like, okay, wait, stop right there. It cracked it down and got to the bottom of it. And so these are the kind of things that's won't spill my coffee. You got to do. Punisher says, would it be helpful for the petitioner to attend the K-1 visa interview for the beneficiary? No, it's not necessary. Very rarely would the government ask for that. Burry says, can someone who has a 2-year green card join the U.S. Army? I think so. I think I have a green card you join. I'm not an expert on Army stuff, but I think you can. And you can expedite your citizenship too. We'll see how the Trump administration allows it or not. Sigma says, just sent you a gift. Thank you, Bertie, and the person who sent the gift. Sigma says, I'm married for 10 years. Still, USCIS called my family for interview. My family is here in USA. I'm not sure what kind of case you have. You're saying you're married. Is it a marriage case? Is it your family case? I'm not. It's not clear exactly what's going on in your case, Sigma. Please schedule a private consult. And for those watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and get more pop-ups like this where you take your questions live by U.S. Immigration. Appreciate it. So we have a couple of followers that please like. We have our like to follower subscriber ratio is not proper. It's 4-2. Let's get it 4-4. Would love it. And we have 5,200 likes on TikTok. Thank you. All right. For I-485, Sigma, whose I-45 is it? What is it based on? Is it marriage? Are you saying like you have a marriage case and they called your family members in the U.S.? You're not really being clear what happening here. I get it. It's I-485. It's a green card case, but it's not clear exactly what you're looking for or what's happening. All right. We only got a few minutes left in the show. I think 2.5 minutes. So please ask your questions here live. We're at 5,000 likes. I appreciate it. Let's get more. It always looks good in front of TikTok. Having said that, download our ultimate marriage green card guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and download our ultimate citizenship guide, ultimate citizenship naturalization guide, and that's at jqklaw.com/citizenship, jqklaw.com/citizenship. So we got to invite Dan Danzong to join live as guest. Okay, let's do that. Let's see what happens there. Invitation sent. Village people, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And everyone who's doing likes. Again, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. I take your questions live about U.S. immigration law and try to help people get a better understanding of what's going on in the immigration world. And TikTok keeps telling me to invite people, so I'm giving it a shot, see what happens. Whatever that means, the invite means. All right, so we're going to be ending the show pretty soon. We got Sigma says, I'm a green card holder. My family is here waiting for I-45 approval. Who's your family? What does that mean? Your children are there? What does it mean they called them? It's still not clear enough, Sigma. I'm sorry. So it's probably better you schedule a private consultation so I can ask questions, kind of pull out the information that I need to know to understand what's going on with your case. The way you're describing things is just too vague for me to say anything of value. So I don't want to mislead you or say bad information if I don't have the proper questions and data to make those decisions. But again, thanks everyone for joining. And if you want to contact me and have a private consultation, go to jqklaw.com/contact. That's jqklaw.com/contact. Sorry, Sigma. I wish I could do better, but thank you for it. Thank you. You're welcome. And we have more people on YouTube. Feel free to shoot out your questions. We're only going to be on show for another minute. If you haven't liked already, please like the feed and subscribe for our more pop-ups where we take your questions live about U.S. immigration law. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi, headquartered in Los Angeles, but we help people from across the country and the world. Our location does not matter for our cases. We just mail stuff in, upload stuff to government, call them, email them, and any ways necessary like that. And sometimes we go in person if needed, but a lot of stuff digital nowadays, thankfully. And thank you for more people on YouTube. Emra, good to see you. Emra Lilter. Hey, John, is it possible not to be called to the interview as a couple at all? Yeah. I filed my 2-year and 10-year green card with you, and soon I'll be applying for citizenship. Citizenship will be an interview. For the 2-year green card, the 10-year green card, they can waive that. Although Trump administration, they're not waiving them for marriage cases. I-751 mostly still, yeah. But when it comes to the citizenship is a requirement that you do an interview, Imra. So you have to go to that one. It shouldn't be a complicated interview. You go through. I have a guide on it. If you go to jqqlaw.com/, I'll email you the guide. I have your email. I'll send Emra guide. Guide. But it's a long guide. We always talk about it later. But I'm still not called for 10-year interview. Right now, very rarely do I get the 10-year. What happens is that the 10-year green card interview takes so long that you're going to file for citizenship in the meantime. I have clients from like China, India who don't want citizenship for various reasons. They don't do it. But if you file for U.S. citizenship, that citizenship case probably is going to happen faster. And they're just going to do a joint interview for your I-751 10-year green card and the citizenship green card at the same time. And so that's typically what happens for most of my clients. And so you go to citizenship interview, they ask you about what color is the flag, who's the president. They just go through your history to make sure you got your green card properly. You don't have any criminal history. You have paid your taxes. You haven't false claimed to be a citizen. You're not a murderer, stuff like that. And you'll be okay. So it's not too bad. But I'll email you the guide, and I'll look to see what your current status on your I-751 is. I think Anna's probably helping out that. I can't remember if it was me or Anna, but we'll get to the bottom of it. I'll follow up with you. Good to hear from you again. Appreciate it, Emra. Okay, so Connie says, my husband is a green card holder and filed for mine since 2021. It's taking time to join. Yeah, green card holder spousal case were backed up like 3, 4, 5 years. It's gotten faster, so you'll probably start moving up soon, but there was a delay for that. And thank you for the like. And everyone else watching, we're going to call this show an end today. And I'm getting some likes on YouTube. Thank you. Getting some hearts come pop out. Appreciate it. Having said all that, what else did I talk about? That's it. I'll see you all next time. We'll be back again Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's my regular time I come on the show. But we do these pop-ups. Today's Wednesday at 4. So I just came in today, asked some questions. A very lively round. Appreciate it. I enjoy coming here and talking with everybody. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. God bless. Be safe. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.